Seriously? Where am I gonna get a gun? What, like this?
Hello and welcome to another preview chat on God is a Geek. We are going to talk about Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose, which is the new third-person DLC from Capcom, and I'm joined by Mr. Adam Cook, who has played it. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I have played it. Not all of it, some of it, a little bit of it.
Well, I mean, when the game ended, spoilers, we were kind of introduced to this character.
Mm-hmm.
And this takes place 16 years after the events of Village,
Something like that. Yeah, she's
around those age.
yeah.
She's a lot older. She's capable of dealing with herself. And
Yes.
yeah, let's just dive in. So you can tell us certain bits. So what does this kind of DLC entail? Like, what are you doing in it?
Well, it's third person for a start. It's a third person shooter, and the vibe I got straight away was like it's the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes sort of third person style. And the biggest impression, like the one that sort of stuck with me afterwards, is and I say this as a fan of the games, a long term fan. You know, I was around when the first one came out. I'm really excited to play the rest of it because while Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes were fantastic, it's a bit like playing a remake of anything. You know what's coming. You know, it's like watching the Titanic as a movie. You know how that's going to end. You know, you've seen it. It's history. Whereas this, I would also say there's elements to what I saw and played, I should say, that it not only brings back the horror, but it's also got kind of, I don't know, it feels supernatural as well in a lot of ways, and the tension's back because you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's coming. Like the enemies they've shown and that I can show in the video are not enemies that I remember from Village. You can see that there's some sort of, it's linked. There's definitely a link between, I mean, obviously the characters, but the game of Village and this Rose DLC. I can't really go into too much sort of specific story stuff, but in truth, not one I wouldn't want to. I don't want to ruin any part of it. But there were moments, even in the bit I played, where I was like, "What is going on here?" Like I really want to know what is going on here because I saw something and a character, and I'm like, "That doesn't make sense. What's going on here? Why is this person doing it?" Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing and not in the way where I was playing Village and there were moments where you're like, you almost have to just roll your eyes and go, "Yep, Resident Evil." It didn't feel like that. It felt more like Resident Evil of old. Gameplay wise, it is a third person shooter. You have limited ammo. It borrows Village's stuff where you can craft health kits, you can craft bullets from stuff you find. The typewriters are back for saving. There's bits and pieces of paper and around that you would pick up and read that fill out some story. There's items you have to pick up. The thing I would say, and I don't want to I didn't play hours of this. I did get the feeling it was quite substantial. That's the one thing I would say.
Well,
I don't know, but I got the feeling that this is a fairly big piece of DLC. It took a little while actually, until I got to a certain area of it where I realised, oh, we're in the castle again, Lady Dimitrescu's castle.
Wow.
Okay, so I didn't initially. I don't know. I was just looking. Things have changed. Let's say you'll see in the video footage. It's not that I can't avoid showing it, if you know what I mean. Things have changed, and then I got to I think it's the courtyard area. Like there's where there's lots of doors off of it. You'll know the bit. I mean the grey sort of courtyard. And I was like, wait, this is there. Okay. So the thing I'll say, and I don't want to make people too excited because I don't know how far this goes and how long it is. This felt kind of Metroidvania like. And that is something that I never thought about. And I was with, and if you look on our channel and on our website, God is a Geek, you'll see preview of Street Fighter 6. So I had someone with me, and he said, well, actually, when you think about it, in a way, even from the beginning, Resident Evil is kind of a bit like that because you can't access things until it's a key.
Yeah.
But when I say that, I'm not talking about it like Resident Evil 1 or 2, where you find like a red emerald and you put it in a statue. That stuff's here. There's still stuff where you have to like find some bolt cutters to cut a bolt. Rose has some sort of power, and I'm not going to go into details on it. Yes, she can shoot things, okay? But she has a power that is like a focus. And initially, the first one, and you'll see this in the video, there are areas blocked off to you by some sort of weird, goopy stuff. And it looks a bit like, when you play in Devil May Cry and the doors lock, and you have to clear a room, and then they unlock. Yeah. They look a bit like that. I thought they looked a bit like the Devil May Cry. But when you find this first item, that gives you the ability to kind of... You literally aim at them and press R1, and it draws whatever's going on here. I don't know, but it draws it out. You go back to other areas that you couldn't previously access and use your power. Okay, and that initially I was like, so that's very Metroidvania-y. And then it developed, and I found another item, and that item gave me a further power on R1, which allowed me. And I was really struggling with bullets, and I was like, these enemies, and you know what it's like in Village. The enemies are really sort of quite hard to get shots off, and when you haven't got a lot of ammo and you've only got a pistol, you really have to, and sometimes it's early. In fact, early in this, it's like, I'm just going to run away. I'm just going to run away because I'm going to die, and I did die, and it's easy to die. The second ability, you can slow them down. Like, so these enemies are shuffling at you, and suddenly there's groups of them, and you're like, oh shit, I've only got like 12 bullets. So, but you can use your thing, focus on them, and it sort of slows. It's like a freeze ability. It's not. They're not frozen, but it's like that kind of. You slow them right down, and then you can just pick them off or dodge around them. And I'm really fascinated to see how far they go with that. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I did see should we say like a boss type creature?
Yeah, okay.
You won't see it in this video, and I'm not going to say any more than that. But that made me think, okay, so where's this going? But again, I don't know how long I played for, if I'm honest with you, because I kind of just lost myself in it. It must have been about 45 to an hour, maybe more.
Yeah.
I had 2 powers, and I'm like, well, how far is this going to go? Because this is different. This is not something I remember in certainly a Resident Evil game. They're always involved shooting and your knives and whatever, but you've never been able to have like magical, I don't know what you want to call it, supernatural powers in your right arm where you can point at something and slow it down. Like, that's... And I'm not going to go into any more than that. There are other things I could say about that, but I'm not going to. Not that I'm not allowed. I don't want to spoil things at this stage. Very, very interesting. Like, as an old school Resident Evil fan, I played this and I came away going, they're taking some risks almost, or different. It really felt like a Metroidvania, man.
That's really cool. I mean, so if you're a fan of Resident Evil, you want to know more about it, then go to God is a Geek and you can read the preview that Adam's put together. You can also follow our YouTube channel, subscribe, click the bell button as usual. And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can head to patreon.com/God is a Geek. We give away all kinds of things. We write special previews. There's podcasts that are exclusive. You can watch our live podcast before anyone else. Thank you for joining me, Adam.
Welcome.
And we'll speak to you all soon or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye.